The opinions expressed in this video does not necessarily constitute as professional or finance advice and does not constitute a comprehensive or complete statement of the matter discussed in this video.
Now we're going to talk about how to maintain your bookkeeping with a schedule that will show you daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly, and yearly processes, just so you won't be behind the 8 ball when tax season comes around. First thing, we're going to talk about what we need to do daily. Every day, at the end of the day, at the end of each business day, first thing that you have to do is count down the drawer. Count down the drawer, you see how much money is made. You'll see how much money is left over from what you put in at the end of the day. And you also have to count your petty cash. And petty cash is set up for immediate incidentals. So if there's something that you need, you can go ahead and run out and grab it. Now weekly, you take a little bit more time to get some more paperwork done. You have to record all of the transactions, review and file any and every receipt, review any unpaid bills, prepare and send invoices for services already completed, pay off the vendors, sign the checks for the vendors that you're doing, the payables, and any and every employee that is paid each week. Lastly, the last thing that you have to check for each week is the projected cash flow. So you have to start looking at how you guys did this week, if it was something that had to do with the weather, if COVID messed it up, how would it affect business in the future, if you guys have to make any adjustments, if everything needs to stay in-house, or if you're wanting to focus more on outsourcing or e-commerce, or trying to do DoorDash instead of having people come up to the door if you have a restaurant, things like that. Okay, so monthly, you have a lot more things that you have to consider. The first one is balancing all of the checkbooks. So you were counting all the cash that was on hand each day. We had to keep a record of the petty cash. You had all the records of the transactions and everybody that you paid, people that owed you. So you have to balance it in the checkbook to say, okay, this is where all the money went. This is where all the money came in from. And how can we show all those things? Okay, so you got to check the checkbooks. And look at all the past due receivables. So you got to go back and talk to some of these people who say that they're going to pay you next Tuesday for a cheeseburger, and say, okay, now I need you to go ahead and start paying me back. Are you able to do anything? What's going on? Let's see if there's an arrangement, but at least get in contact with them so you can have something in your hand. You did the work. You're owed it. Okay, you also got to take a look at your inventory status. So with money that's for the services rendered, for the products that's been sold, you have to see if everything's been accounted for. If anything was broken in transit, if it was just a bad batch, if something just didn't work right, something that was returned. You have to take an account for all those little things to make sure that everything's accounted for. So if somebody's getting paid each month, you can put it in each week at the same time, bi-weekly. However your pay schedule is set up, make sure that you take care of payroll. So that goes into the taxes that are included in it. Make sure that you have it in your account. However you get that taken care of, make sure that you know your numbers. Know your numbers. All right, so the next part is you got to review your actual profit versus your loss versus your budget. So say you had a good month, you received about an extra $2,500 more than you usually get around this time last year, and you see if it's considered a profit for real or if it's a loss. You got to see what's being used in a different way. So if you went from a brick and mortar and moved it back and downscaled it a little bit, you got to see if that affected and actually helped your business, what was still being sold, and if it was an actual profitable month. And if you're able to stay under budget, even better. The last thing that you have to do monthly is take a look at this month's balance sheet and then compare it to the last month's. So you have to take a look and see if it's going up, if it's going down, if there's, one-time purchases that may end up showing up again, and how to maintain that upward climb of profitability for the rest of the year. Okay, quarterly. The first thing is to file the estimated taxes. Fun. So businesses that are selling stuff and you have a record and it is being sold and you're saying that, this is a sales tax that was being added, all those things, you have to have those things accounted for and pay for it quarterly. They have options for you to do it yearly. I would not suggest it because it can slip away from you real easy. So set up an alarm, set a calendar reminder just to get it done each quarter, so you can just stay on top of it so it won't surprise you during tax time, believe me. Okay, so next thing that you have to take a look at is the payroll report. So if you got this one guy or you got a couple people who like to sit on the clock, or is saying that they're 5 minutes away 30 minutes ago, and you're seeing how that's starting to come about and the changes that you may be seeing in your payroll, you got to review all of those things just to make sure that it's still within your budget. It's all connecting together. So each month you look at the profit loss, and if you're staying within your budget, and if it starts to change a little bit, you can see it, but it may be just a 1 month thing until you get to your quarter and you see how it's fluctuating so much, and you can make those proper adjustments. And the next thing, it goes along with the first part a little bit. You're filing your estimated quarterly taxes, but then you also go into the sales tax. You have the state tax, sales tax, okay? And with that, you go ahead and make your payment, go into your state's Department of Revenue, and you'll be able to see the paperwork that's needed to file each quarter to make sure that you're on the up and up. All right, so the last part goes again into the profit loss. So you'll have to take a look at your annual profit loss estimate. So by this time, you should have a solid amount of data to show if what you're doing is profitable, if you're first able to maintain your budget, if you're also able to grow and gain and maintain a profit. All those things start to show you and put the pieces together to see what is really going on. Finally, we're talking about what we have to do each year, and you guessed it, taxes. We'll get to that in a second, but first we have to look at the reviewing of past due receivables. So again, you got to go back to those people, call them up, send them an email, however you are able to contact those people who said that they were going to pay for a service, they received the service and have not paid for it. I know it's uncomfortable, but you got to get it done because, hey, it's still your job, it's still your business, it's still your baby, it's still your livelihood. So do what you can to get the money. Don't bring a baseball bat, don't knock any knees. But if you really do need to, get in contact with a collection agency, and they'll be able to buy those debts off of you and make sure that they're able to be received some way, somehow. Okay? All right, now you got to do a overhaul of your inventory, from the post-it notes to the envelopes to the computers to the printers, everything that you have, t-shirts, socks, count them. You have to be able to maintain the number of things that you have in your inventory because of the supply and demand. If somebody's asking for it and you don't even know if it's there, know your numbers. Know your numbers. Okay, so now we are back to our favorite part of being a business owner. Filling out your IRS forms for your W-2 and your 1099. Now, if you're blessed, you can go ahead and send them up to your tax preparer and they'll get them all straightened out for you. No problem, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. If you're still starting out and it's not a really big business, you can go online to get some of your get all the taxes done. If you're unsure, you can go into a tax agency or a tax service office, and they'll be able to work with you and get it done. But you have to take care of your forms. Take care of it. All right, the last thing, you got to review and approve all of the financial statements and tax forms. So that means that you can sit down with your tax advisor or your tax attorney, somebody who has a great grasp of what needs to be seen, the information that has to be there, and review those documents. Know your numbers. Again, know your numbers. Know your numbers. Know your numbers. It is so important for you guys to make sure that everything is in order, so when the end of the year comes, there's no surprises. Okay? All right, I thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me and spend some time listening to me ramble. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below, or you can email me at tarakspecializes@gmail.com, and feel free to leave me a message. I would love to hear from you. Subscribe. I would love to have more people to reach, and I thank you again. You guys have a great one.
Thank you guys so much for watching my video. Make sure that you subscribe. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at tarakspecializes@gmail.com. And make sure that you visit taraspecializes.com for a free 30-minute consultation. Can't wait to work with you.